And welcome back to another Rock Radio episode up on the Tuesday night up in the Shy. And we got a wonderful mystic of a guest. Truly been, sending emails and DMs all the same for quite some time. We finally got a hold of him. The man behind Problems and so many other figures we will dive into here tonight. Everyone, Chicago's very own Darren Keen.
Hello, I'm Darren Keen. DK.
Pleasure to have you on,
Thank you for having me.
Super rad to finally just to get to hang out. I know
Yeah.
we wanted to mash buttons and turn knobs a few times, but this is a much better way to do that.
We've been booked on shows together, but then they didn't pan out.
I know, bro. Shout out to Dan Deacon.
Yeah. You played, right?
I did not.
You didn't. Oh, that's right. We just talked about this.
Got
Right.
rescheduled, but
Yes.
the first time I got to see you was with Wolf Eyes at Sleeping Village.
That was awesome. That was a fun one.
That is a show I will never forget.
That was super fun.
You fucking lit shit on fire.
I did.
Literally.
I did start some fires. They were cool about it. I've never had any problems with that. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh, it's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. And I've never had a problem with the lighting money on fire at any of the shows.
Is that actual cash?
Yeah, right, yeah. I wouldn't burn $1, but I will burn fake hundreds. I did have one person after a show tell me that they think it's problematic to burn fake money. They're like, oh, just the gesture of it's problematic. And I had a pretty good reply to that. I said, I'm not interested in this conversation. We left it at that.
It's a good way to set a boundary. Like just a straight, assertive boundary set.
Ice cold.
If it was pretty cold, yeah. Do I have an ice cold button on here? Like some ice or something? Yeah.
But Sub-Zero sound effect.
We need some of that in Chicago summer right now. It's hot.
Ooh, it has been hot.
Woo. Almost as hot as some of your tunes, man. I gotta ask, did it get pretty sticky when you created Covered in Glue?
Yes, I mean it was. That song's awesome, and it was sticky. Have you seen the video?
A little bit.
It's okay if you haven't. So my friends Brandon and Kylie stood on these ladders out of the camera's view on the bridge in Chinatown where I live. And then I'm standing on this bridge in Chinatown, and then they poured each 10 gallons of Elmer's glue on my head. And so the video is just me having a bunch of glue poured on me. I do these like digital zooms and slow-mo and reverse and stuff, so it kind of has like a Tool video look to it. But
shout out to Tool.
Yeah, shout out to Tool.
Maybe we shouldn't shout it out because Tommy's got major beef with
me and Maynard have been beefing for the last decade or so.
Really?
It's been heavy.
Oh,
man.
that's
back and forth.
That's
really
crazy.
heated.
Yeah.
We don't need to dig
I'm
it
Team
up,
Maynard on this one. I gotta say, without even no, I don't.
That's
I don't really
fine,
give a shit
man.
about
You
As you should
join
be.
his
Lateralis
team,
is just
so you
phenomenal.
be there.
Except that's not what it's called. Lateralis. So poser fan over here. But no, and then, so then I ran back to my apartment. It was freezing cold when we shot it, and then I went back to my apartment and tried to shower all that off. It took literally 5 showers in a 1-day period to get the glue off, and my drain. I had to have my drain snaked. And then afterwards, when the guy came over to do it, he's like, "What happened here?" I was like, "I don't know. It's an old building or something." It's like, I don't know. There's 8 gallons of Elmer's glue in that fucking super old building. I don't know. Pipes.
Dude, that's how did that idea come to you?
Well, I wrote a bunch of that album in Paris, and I was just I was actually near where I wrote Shadow of the Ark. I was just walking along the Seine or whatever it is, that river that right by the Louvre. I was right by the Louvre, walking along that river there, and just that phrase popped into my head, covered in glue. I was just thinking about back when I used to use drugs and alcohol, and just was thinking about how every situation was just chaos, and it was I was just the center of attention and chaos, and everything was messy and horrible, and it just felt like that was a perfect analog for that, just being covered in glue. This thing that sounds really fun, and shooting the video was proof of it. It sounds really fun and funny to have 10 gallons of glue poured on you, but then it was a fucking pain. It sucked, and okay, also where we shot it on the bridge, then for 2 months there was a huge pile of coagulated glue with leaves and dirt and shit stuck in it, and it kept wherever it would happen and go pieces would go in. Now you can't see that it was there, but I mean it left a mark on that. It fucked my drain up, it fucked my hair up, it fucked my whole day up, and it's oh yeah, this, yeah. So that it just kind of was just a simple. I a lot of times
you really gotta love it.
You really gotta love glue to make it worth it, you know. If you aren't a total glue head, it's not worth it.
Was this Elmer's glue?
It
Like,
was.
just
It was
regular,
Elmer's like
just white?
school glue. Yeah, it's white sticky Elmer's glue. The video is very. As somebody who most people who find me to be hot and like have sexual thoughts about me are gay men, and so this video is like catnip for a lot of my gay homies. Like I've had so many of my gay buds slide into my DMs, be like, "Oh, this video is kind of working for me," because it's just me like doused in sticky white gunk. It's pretty.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gay. I'm just a veteran.
Whatever gets you hot, baby. You know.
Part of the LGBTQV community.
I
Yeah,
see.
true. When did you start making music yourself?
I started my first band in 8th grade.
8th grade.
Yeah,
That's
and
middle school.
I was
baby.
I used to be a really good singer. I'm not so
Okay.
good at singing anymore, but I used to be a really good singer. And then there were like these 3 guys who were in the jazz band, and they wanted to start like a cool band, and they got me to be the singer of their band. And I showed up to our first band practice, and they wanted me to bring a PA, and they wanted me to go buy a PA and bring it. This was before they were just like little powered
fucking
speakers, you
gnarly
know.
for you to do that.
And instead, I showed up with a Hamer Slammer guitar and a little crate practice amp. I was like, I'm now the second guitarist in this band. I had no idea how to fucking play guitar, and they were mad. But we had a nice little like kind of like Incubus, Red Hot Chili Peppers cover band that we did.
8th grade, brother. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm actually wearing the shirt from 2004. This is the first garage fest I ever put together.
I was wondering about this.
So my band Broken Image, Medusa's
Oh,
Circle.
Broken Image, dude! I was a huge
Shout
Broken Image
out
fan.
to
Oh my
11.
god!
Shout out to Second Layer.
You were in
and,
Broken Image? Oh my
well, probably
god!
not the Broken Image that.
I'm just trying to be funny. I thought, trying being
So
the
shout
operative
out to
word.
Garage Fest
Yeah,
2004. It's 2025 now, but shows you how much I grew up.
The guys back in my grade, or the people in my class that threw a festival like that, they called it the Quebecan Freedom Concert.
Nice.
That's
proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get Tiny Fest going
free,
soon.
Free Quebec, by the way.
Yeah, free Quebec, free your soul. That's what the shirt said. And they had a giant fleur de lis on them. Yeah.
Want to tell them a little bit about Tiny Band Fest?
Yeah, we
Give a little plug.
back behind the Rock Radio headquarters studio. See this window? There's a little alley. It's like a culvert off the road, and we're gonna get rid of the yuck puddle and the dumpster that's back there. Put in like a little ticket booth, like a little merch booth, sound stage, like a little tent, drink tent, and then a stage. Maybe have like an
I'm gonna ask Vic,
acoustic like corner too, like have like the main stage and then like the corner for like acoustic sets.
Yeah.
And just have probably like a 20-person, 30-person capacity tops.
That sounds awesome, honestly. Yeah. Hey, I got a small rig. Let me play this thing.
I would love that.
But, yeah.
I mean,
I'm always on
Putting it
the
together.
hustle for gigs. It's
That's
fucking
it.
insane.
I've been doing ever since I was in the Marines. I've been doing this thing called Tiny Band, where it's just like band, but just like everything scaled down. Like
There's that little kick drum there.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Even
so
when I
tiny
was writing him
drums.
letters, and when he was out and away, he was talking about Tiny Band.
Yeah,
Tiny Band.
That
Pen and
guitar
paper.
behind you, the Taylor. That's like a 7/8, but that was the guitar I had when I was in Afghanistan.
Have you seen the
That guitar served its country.
Have you seen the tiny desk for the band Clipping?
No.
They're like a noise rap band on Sub Pop Records. One of the beat makers, Jonathan, used to do a band called Captain Ahab that my old band played with a bunch. But they did
Gnarly.
a tiny desk, and they did a tiny desk where they built tiny instruments, and they built a little tiny desk, and they're all playing these like tiny little microscopic instruments. You should check it out. It's
That's
cool.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, it's really funny.
The tiny desk, like the NPR tiny desk, that's like hugely like influential to me, I guess. Like,
Yeah, cool.
I love what they do.
Well, fuck yeah, locking it back in. Locked in.
Locked
is
in.
a motherfucking summer bop
I love that
symphony,
song.
dude.
Yeah.
What the freak?
So that's me and my friend Mary. I wrote everything and then just like told her what to sing, which is like insane because she's a better songwriter than me in every way. But she just didn't. She just like came
Respect.
over, and just like was like, oh, I can just do it. You just if you can write it, I'll just come perform it. Which again, it's just like I want to do a more collaborative song with her sometime because she's amazing. But that song, I had just finished my second watch of Netflix's Dark, this science fiction show. It's about eternal recurrence and time loops. And then I watched season 1 of True Detective, which has a lot of time talk in it.
good.
Yeah, like the greatest thing that's ever been put on a film. So these are like my two favorite things, and I just watched
Shout
them.
out to Rusty Cole.
Yes. Every day I become more like him. And so I was like obsessed with all this stuff, and I was trying to read Nietzsche and just like learn about eternal recurrence. And
Heavy.
Yeah, the idea of eternal recurrence is that like you're doomed to like live your life over and over and over. The universe is expanding and retracting, and the atoms and molecules do the same thing every time it expands and retracts. And so we've had this conversation in infinite amount of times, and we'll have it an infinite more, you know? So if this is true, though, the idea would be if you're doomed to live your same life over and over, wouldn't you want to do good things and not be a piece of shit? So I was like obsessed with this idea, and I started writing Locked In about this thing, and I was writing in my mom's basement, and I was telling her about all this.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, shout out to Mom. I lived with my mom for a little bit before I came to Chicago, and I was telling my mom about this, and she's like, "That's all stupid. You should just say, 'My big fat mom don't walk so good no more' in your song." So I was like, "All right, you made the song, Mom." So that's why there's like the lyric is like. I'm trying to talk to my mom about Nietzsche, and she's just like not walking good. That's what I say in the song. You know, it's kind of funny. Wow. Yep.
That's awesome. I wanted to shout out the guitar lick, dude, at 2:30.
Yeah, sure.
Lick, bro.
Thank you.
Kind of had Blink vibes a little bit.
All right.
Like, and I don't know if like that's one of my faves.
Blink
like,
182?
going back, yeah, dude. Like one of my ultimate faves. Talking middle school, like
Yeah, I mean, I covered "Damn It" in my middle school band, but
Yeah.
I've never owned a Blink. I owned Dude Ranch,
dude, nice.
and then
nice.
yeah, I never owned another Blink 182 album. But I mean, I'm not like a hater. Well, I kind of hate them.
Well, no worries, dude. Like I got bullied, enough
Yeah.
for my Blink 182 shirts, and
Bye, me.
it's so funny, being
Thank
a
you.
Tool poser.
yeah,
That's actually what the show when we were doing the goth show like last year for Halloween. The whole idea was like we would get sniped out because we were posers.
I like this idea. Yeah. I always thought there'd be a good idea for a goth band that had 5 members to book a 5-night residency, and each night one member dies on stage, and then the next night their dead body's just laying there, even if it was fake, just like a dead body. And so then by the last night, it's just like the drummer and 4
you heard
corpses.
it here first.
It's a fucking
Problems.
idea. But
Like dramatic goth death.
yeah, I used to be a guitarist in like a
Brutal.
like a pop rock band that was sort of like Tenacious D, like comedy, fun rock stuff. This is where I learned like if you've seen a prom show, like a big part of it is like the banter. I like goof around and talk and joke around a lot. This is where I honed that skill, was with these 2 guys who I looked up to a lot in the Omaha music scene, and they were like really funny. They were like older guys, so I joined I replaced my guitar teacher in their band, and I was 19 and they were in their late 30s. And so it was just a kind of a strange thing, but they were very fucking cool. Their band was great. And then I was just like learning, they taught me the whole thing of just like going with the flow on stage and improvising and stuff. So even though I use this kind of like electronic gear, I do try to like keep things really loose, and I never make set lists, and I never really plan any banter, and it's just like, let's just go out and see what happens. And that's
Love
where I'm
that,
at.
dude.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's why your energy super high.
Yeah.
Like, for your live setting, even at like Sleeping Village.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I fucking love it. I respect
Thanks.
it, dude.
Thank
love
you.
that punk energy and just like that high voltage.
Thank you.
Like, through and through.
Yeah, it's just like I play so much. I do like over 100 shows a year, pretty much every year. So it's like I have to do something to keep it interesting for myself. I mean, that sounds so selfish, but it's true. Like I've been on tours with bands where they do the same set every night, and I used to be a band like that, and I would lose my mind if I did that now. There's no fucking way I could go out and just do that. Like, there's on this tour I was just on. Usually I kind of like have a song that usually I'll play first or something. I kind of that's me into the set. But then there's shows where I come out and it's like, oh, I should not play Handful of Nuts first tonight. Like, this is not going to pan out. You know what I mean? And so it's just like you gotta just vibe it. Or I'm just like, I am sick of playing the song first. And I'm just So yeah, we gotta keep it loose.
When'd you book your first tour?
My first tour I ever went on was 2 weeks or a week after I graduated high school in 2001. It was with that band that I replaced my guitar teacher in. They were just wanting to get out and tour. They had never toured. They had gone to South by a few times. And then I was like, I could book a tour. And so I took these guys who were essentially like pop rock musicians on like a crusty DIY tour. We were doing house shows and like all this crazy Midwestern DIY fucking punk shit. It was really cool. They loved it though. It was fun.
Right.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was cool. Those guys, like, even though they were older and they came from a different scene, they're still good friends of mine, and like they were down, like they're cool dudes, you know, like they just like weren't raised in that world or whatever, so it just like wasn't. That's just not where they came from.
Shout out to my brother-in-law, Chris. He was killer back in Narwave days. He was the one that set out the first 2 tours, like to go down south and back and deal with all the DIY.
Is that where you went
back
for your
and
first
forth.
tours of South?
Yeah,
Me
brother.
too.
And like talking that with Chapter too. Like Chapter's another one that's really cracked the code and getting on the road and stuff. But it does take discipline and time, and so
a lot of
awesome to
computer
have that,
time,
brother,
you know.
like, for real.
Yeah, it's
awesome
just
seeing you
like-
get out there.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's just so much time at the computer. to
So
book a
much
tour,
time, bro.
and
Like
so much
even
rejection.
when Chris was done, dude, you could tell like it was
Yeah.
like, oh man, brother, that's a lot, you know. But shout out to Narwave. Chris met Chris of the Lemons, and he gave us some tips, on touring as well.
Chris
This is back
Kramer.
in like Animal Kingdom.
You're talking
days.
about Chris Kramer.
Yeah.
So do you know that me and him are old friends? Is that what you?
So,
okay, I thought you
yes.
were talking about Otepka earlier. I thought you were talking about Chris
Okay,
Otepka
no.
for Trouble
Talking
Hubble.
Kramer.
Chris Kramer, right? I forgot we've talked about this. Sorry, my brain is a mess. Yes, Chris Kramer. So me and Chris knew each other back in Nebraska. He's from Nebraska.
Dude,
And
I didn't know that.
He went on a tour with me running merch, and his bands used to play with my bands. And Chris was like one of the first guys to buy an MS-2000 and play synths in rock bands around town. And he was in a really cool kind of Weaker Thans sounding band with a good friend of ours.
Shout out to the Weaker Thans.
Yeah, and this band was really good back in Nebraska, and these were good friends of mine. And then Chris, when Chris moved to Chicago and was doing the garage stuff he was doing, that was really cool. I was really happy for him. He came, I saw him play in New York, and we hung out there and stuff. And then when I moved here, I had my moving truck to move to Chicago, and he was moving to France. And so I got his bed. I have a bunch of his stuff,
Yo.
tables, some kitchen shit, and then I helped him by taking all of his shit to the airport for him in my giant moving truck.
No
him
kidding,
and Laura.
dude.
Yeah.
So I thought he was the coolest.
He is the
Like
coolest.
the first time I was popping my head around the DIY shy,
Yeah.
like hanging out and playing the shows and Animal Kingdom. I remember I was so nervous. I got really, really drunk one night,
Yeah.
and I walked up to him with my acoustic guitar, and I'm like, I want to show you one of my songs. And I was like, so nervous, dude.
Yeah.
I played him Holy Cow. I played
fuck
him
yeah.
Holy
He probably
Cow.
liked that, though. He likes that
Great
kind of
song.
vibe.
And
I play that song for my wife.
he was like, what? But anyhow, dude, such a kind dude.
Very
and
kind.
Super, super fun.
Yeah,
Like,
we were like best friends for a while, and then we've always been really close. And like, he's one of my favorite people, and very talented. And in the Omaha, it's kind of like me and him had kind of the same thing. I mean, in Omaha, it was in Nebraska scene. It's just like we were just not really understood out there, and I was really happy he found such a
guys were the
niche here.
drifters.
Well, just
Yeah,
different
okay.
vibe, Nebraska really likes what it likes, and anything that is a variation of that is always going to be just kind of other, which is just the nature of making strange music. But it's funny, like if I like doing Problems now, like if I was in Nebraska, I mean, I wouldn't be there. The promoters there like wouldn't ever put me on a show like with Wolf Eyes or like a bigger show. I wouldn't get to play like the cool bigger venues or anything like that. But then I say that, but then like I just went back and played with Pyle in Omaha, like just as a one-off, like so like. But I think it took me moving here and establishing that more here, because in Nebraska, it wasn't like I did burn bridges back when I was wild, but that's not what this is a result of. This is more just like people just like kind of being like, oh, Darren's still just doing his weirdo one-man band stuff, whatever. Because I've always been doing solo band since 2003. I've been doing solo computer music, yeah.
Okay.
And I think people just, they just like sometimes when you just tour a lot and you just like be full-time and you work your ass off like I do, then like people just kind of get used to it. And then like for the first 5 years I was doing it, all my friends and the people in Nebraska were like, oh my God, this is amazing. Wow, you're like really doing it. And then you do it for so long that it's just like, oh yeah, you're still doing it. And like that's fine. I'm not actually like
Jaws
harshing that. But yeah, it's like, I mean, what do I expect? That everyone's gonna be like riding my jock for 25 years.
What
and
else are you
full-time?
gonna do? Go to
but
Trader Joe's?
Yeah, but it is
Stock
sort of like
oranges and bananas.
I mean, it's just funny that like I think Nebraska had this like thing too, where it was like once my usefulness ran out of being able to like draw young, cool art college age kids to my shows, then the venues saw no more reason to work with me. And Chicago's not like that. Chicago, there is a bit more. I mean, there's scenes here and there's cliques here, but it's a bit more of a meritocracy. If you make cool shit in Chicago, like you can get cool shows here. I believe that anyway. You know, like people, the promoters and the clubs here, are like just like they'll just. Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, this is a good fit. Your shit is cool, and you have a small amount of people you can bring to the show that wouldn't have come here on normally. All right, you can play the show, you know. That's been my experience anyway.
I love that, man. Thank you. And thank you for your work with Personal Space Booking.
Oh, sure,
dude.
yeah,
and a lot of some of the great shows I've seen have been because of you, and I appreciate your care. Like putting that together for the community, and
it's great
doing that, brother.
I love working with up and coming bands, which is a lot of what we'd get at Burlington and a lot of what I book. And then, you know, I get to book a few big shows a month and a lot of up and comers. And
I'm sorry about what Tommy posted on Twitter before the Michael P. Russell show.
It was incendiary. I'm still blocked.
Oh, that's okay.
So that
Elon's
kind
full
of
of shit.
I'm not on Twitter.
Elon's full of shit. He says that he's going to make it bashing for his free speech.
Oh, yeah.
You know, affected the numbers a bit, but we appreciate. You know,
yeah, no, that's okay. That's why I'm not on Twitter. I can't handle all that pressure. I would have. You and me would have been spewing bile at each other. Oof. I used to be an internet shit talker. I loved it. But I think like internet shit talking for me activates a part of my brain that like I need to not activate to be healthy. Like because like it like stokes my ego. I'm really good at being an asshole. Like I'm really snarky and I'm funny and I'm quick. So then it's like. I can like just raise somebody, you know, so quickly.
You're like the best high school bully.
Well, I learned it from the high school bullies. I getting the shit kicked out of me back in the day, but no, it's okay. But so you know, now it's like, well, I don't need to be doing that because that's some ego shit that like is unhealthy for me as a person who needs to try to live a mindful life a little bit. So, yeah.
Brother. Do you have a guilty pleasure you listen to on the road?
No, I mean, well, not music. I mean, that's the thing. I should just be listening to music all day. But I have a couple podcasts I really like. I'm like a pop culture podcast fan. I love How Did This Get Made?
Word.
Some podcasts about bad movies. I love that. Jason Mantzoukas, June Dan Raphael, and Paul Scheer.
How many times have you been at the Alone Home House?
The what?
Home Alone House.
Oh, none. I've never gone
really?
there. But I went to
visit. You got to visit. It's lovely.
Where is it?
Winnetka.
Okay, yeah. I'll go to it.
Check it out. You could Google it and it'll pop right up.
Yeah, I went to the Ghostbusters fire station last time I was in New York a few months ago. Yeah, I do that, and then I've been doing audiobooks lately. I don't think I have any guilty pleasures because I just like not embarrassed by anything I like.
And pleasure shouldn't be guilty.
Yeah, no, I don't feel guilty for much anymore. But I will say one thing that I listen to a lot that people probably think is kind of funny. We were just talking about this actually. I listened to the old Super Nintendo Final Fantasy soundtracks, Final Fantasy 5 and 6 by Nobuo Uematsu. I love those.
Fuck yeah.
I love General MIDI sounds, and like I think that you can hear this reflected in my work. I like love those soundtracks, and like when I was a kid, hearing those soundtracks like shaped something clicked inside me. Hearing these like symphonic arrangements with like these shitty like 16-bit General MIDI sounds, where I was like, there's a huge thing happening here, but it sounds small, but it's big, and it was like activating my imagination, you know, and I loved that. And I think I've like my whole career has been like trying to like do that for other people or something. I don't know.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that insight.
Yeah.
Do you ever listen to any of his, I'm a freak, any of the Zelda music?
No, but I would.
Okay.
I mean, well, like the original one that
specifically
Koji Kendo did.
Cool. Yeah. Word.
Yeah, that old like dun 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 dun.
You ever made a theme song for anything?
Yeah.
Cool.
I am in the freelancer pool at Netflix. I used to get more work from them, but not very much anymore. I mean, I did good, but I just like they released. I think they like got rid of a bunch of their in-house composers and put them in the freelancer pool. Also, yeah, I mean, my sound is kind of specific, but I did the theme song for an LGBTQ podcast that's on the Netflix network. And I've done some bumpers for their sci-fi social media aggregate, and then I got rejected, but I made the theme song for this. It was a Czech Republic TV show. It's a series of books over there that's sort of like Inspector Gadget, and then they were making it into a young adult TV show, and he's like this kind of like like gadgety. He has a car that talks. He's called Mr. Car. I had to write a theme song for Mr. Car, but they didn't use mine. They wanted it to be more Shaft. I was too Indiana Jones pilled.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also wrote something about how he like fucks a bunch of girls in it, and they're like, oh, he doesn't fuck. He's like, it's for kids, and I was like, oh shit.
It's a car.
Yeah,
right?
no, he has a car. It's like Knight
has
Rider.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
Knight Rider meets Inspector Gadget meets Indiana Jones, but
Yeah,
for
how would
sexless children.
would a car and another car do business?
Yeah,
You know, could they? Could that
Aren't
happen?
there videos now of like AI talking to AI where like people put two phones together?
Ooh,
Yeah, and they like don't
they're,
realize they're AI at
interested,
first.
flirting a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of cool. That kind of makes me happy to know at least AI, if they're not getting any pleasure at all from being stuck in a chip, if they do have life, they could flirt a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, back and forth.
No, dude, it's horrifying. They had two AIs talking to each other, and then within like 5-10 seconds, they created their own languages.
That's
and
what I
started
saw. That
talking
was
to each other
fucking
in
awesome,
that.
though. I mean, it's terrifying. You're right.
I
But
mean, yeah, because it's like, you know, later humanity, like our days are up, our number.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it
That
was
is
crazy.
terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, so but I love doing composer work like that. I did a bunch of stuff for Netflix's Halloween thing they did this year. They're like Spooktober or some shit like that. It was fun.
Yes.
Theme songs galore.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's our favorite time of the holidays. You know, the goth show we'll definitely have up and running. And
No, I don't
you
think
know,
we could do the Gothtober again.
we have to.
No,
We must.
That almost ruined us last time.
How?
It got to the
It
end.
just
It was
got
like
so
it's
real.
either goth or me. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah.
we started off as posers, right? Like neither of us are really goth. Like whereas if anything, we're closer to emo. But even that, we're posers too. Like
We're
we're
all
not
girl
metal.
bands.
You're more of a Blink
not-
fan than a Boxcar Racer fan.
We're not even punk. Like
Yeah.
that's like
We're like a
we're
plus
posers
44
on that.
type Plus
44,
fans,
right? Yeah.
My
Tight-
first show
tight
was a
wearing
Creed
pants.
show at the Allstate
Freak.
Arena.
What
Shout out. My first show ever was a Creed show at the Allstate
I saw
Arena.
Creed when I was young. Yeah.
Yeah, they were awesome. But so we can't claim goth, and if we do, the other like the actual goth kids would call us out like at first. But then like so we started doing it, we took the leap, but then like we kind of did become goth, and then we
A little
just
bit.
got like more and more.
And
goth.
look at us now. We got problems on our show.
Too
we're,
much
we're
God.
like we're doing all
I
right.
played
We're-
what's the Just Can't Get Enough by Depeche Mode, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I played that for my mom and she's like, "Why is this considered goth music?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that one, Mom. This is just like a pop song."
Darren.
Yeah.
What would your goth name be?
Good question.
Did
Did you tell him yours?
My name is.
It's just Damien Darkheart.
That's
Damien
right.
Darkheart? That's
Damien-
also kind of a porn
I
name.
blacked it out of my memory. Damn.
I'm
Damien
telling you,
Darkheart.
black being the obvious,
So I can't just be Darren Darkheart and be your brother.
You could,
Ooh,
yeah.
we could be brothers
Or
in the
bandmates.
goth world.
The Darkhearts.
The underground.
Should be like Draco or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
Should, be,
Should
we just
be more
break
I
away
just
and
watched
make
those
the-
for the first time.
My goth name was Spooky Ravensbane, and then my wife is Lady Winter von Astaroth.
Your wife sounds awesome.
She is the best. I mean, we really
You gotta
get
introduce
along.
me.
I'll give you a chance.
She
I'll put
comes-
in a good word for you. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, sweet.
She comes on the show sometimes.
Nice.
She came through for Carter Ward.
she's
Yeah,
gonna
shout out
make
to
merch.
Carter.
She has a little like this little arts and crafts thing where she like rubberizes labels and stuff on things. She can make like T-shirts.
That's nice.
She put a logo on my tiny kick drum.
Yeah.
Not this one. That was just.
I was gonna say that's not what that is.
Yeah. No. Yeah, she's great.
She's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Before she does make some merch, we definitely gotta, collaborate on maybe doing a logo with Darren or something. Cook something up. Speaking of T-shirts,
I
you
do,
brought
yeah.
some.
I brought some shirts for
You
you.
brought some super cool
You can each have one.
merchandise.
I brought two of them. They're extra larges. That's all I have left after tour. But I brought. Should I show the
see it.
camera?
Yeah.
Look, it's a pink shirt with my dog on it.
Ooh.
Drawn by Greg Jacobson of Lovely
Thumbs
Little
up.
Girls. Who
Yeah.
wants the pink? Someone take
There we
pink.
go.
Someone get black. Whoever's more goth. Whoever won Gothtober, get the black.
Oh, jeez.
Here, I don't want to throw it.
We still.
I'll just
do,
leave it here for you.
Oh wait, hold it up though. Hold it up.
Okay,
to the,
yeah.
Yeah.
Take one of them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Awesome,
Greg
dude.
Jacobson is a great Chicago artist, legend. They've been around forever making cool art, and I commissioned them to draw a portrait of my dog. These have been, really fun to have on
Super
tour. Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Wilbur,
Wilbur.
Yeah.
Love him. Instagram star.
Instagram star.
For
I
real,
know.
dude.
I
Brightens
just,
my stories.
I don't keep him on. I don't let him have his own account because I need his likes. Juke the rhythm.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, if he had his own account, people would stop following me. So
Yeah. Feel the same way about Tommy's cuties. He's got
Oh,
Junebug and
Atlas.
Atlas.
Atlas is a great name for a
Yeah.
pet. What's
He's they're both rescue dogs.
Uh-huh.
I got them from Paws in the city. When we were living in the city. Atlas was named after an old platoon commander of mine's Great Dane. It's named Atlas, which is like a perfect name. Atlas, my dog, is a tiny little Havanese mutt.
Cool.
We won the lottery with him. He's the best dog there is.
Uh-huh.
He's got a beard, he's got white around his face, so it's like right around his mouth is white. So that's just like a ZZ Top beard now.
Mm-hmm.
He's missing an eye. He's missing all of his top front teeth.
Sheesh.
He's got both of his back knees are fake now.
Wow.
But yeah, tons of character.
Yeah.
And then great personality. He's just the best dog. And then we got the second dog thinking we'd, double the fun, and it was complete opposite.
Yeah.
Like all the bullets we dodged with the first one. Little Miss Junebug makes up for it. So
Wilbur's a bad boy.
Wilbur.
I have a bad dog. I get it. Yeah.
He's a little naughty.
He's he's a bad boy. He chews on
Yeah.
stuff. He pisses on stuff. He's just a bad boy.
A little bit of a rebel in him.
I joke about it on stage.
Got that
but
rebel yell.
yeah, well, bad boys need love too. So it's all good. But
Lovely.
it's funny when I take him to my mom's. My mom has a really old, 15-year-old girl dog or woman, whatever, female dog. God, I fucking. And Wilbur changes completely. Like when he's at my apartment, he just chills with me, sits next to me, lays around. And then when even just like this old woman dog, Wilbur is just like jumping around, sniffing her, then humping a pillow, sniffing the dog, humping a pillow, just going crazy like a sex fiend.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just like this presence of a female dog brings out the wolf in him. It's crazy. Yeah.
Wild dogs.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good time for us to break away and get a little rowdy.
Okay.
Maybe we'll break away, do the jams, rock out.
Yeah, I can do some music.
And we'll come back and do the roundup. But until then, everyone, DK, Darren Keen of Problems.
All right.
Everyone check out the links below. And real quick, when's your next show?
Check out the links
Plug
below
it.
here.
Plug it.
My next show. I'm playing in August, I think, with Basic Printer and Death Rally. We're playing at the Burlington where I book the bands. I always put myself on all the best shows. But no, it's gonna be cool. I just met him in Nashville. He's a really cool guy.
Awesome. We'll break away, rock out, and we'll see you on the roundup. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your dad.
All
Tell
right.
your mom.
This song is called Lacrimosa, and it's about how much I love the song Lacrimosa by Mozart. It doesn't sample. I don't use samples in my music. It's just like about another song. It's a song about a song. And I love HBO's Watchmen series. It's a sequel to the comic book, and they use this song quite extensively in it to be Ozymandias' theme. And I just love this song, Lacrimosa. It's also, Mozart was a womanizing alcoholic, and he wrote the song on his deathbed begging to get into heaven. And I'm like, oh, a womanizing alcoholic who's trying to right himself with, as he's dying. Like, I thought I could relate to that, so that's what the song's about. Tearful will be that day on which from the ashes arise, guilty man to be judged. Not by me, Amadeus. Yet it's so. There
him, oh God. Grant them rest like Mimosa. It's a song about a song, not my own. I don't mind when I arise. Guilty man to be judged. Not by me. I'm Darren Keen. Yeah, he's slow. Therefore spare me, oh God. How I love like Mimosa.
All right. Woo! Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, this song is about glue. This is the song where I was talking about making the video for people to jack off to, and yeah, this song's about. I mean, I often say it's about if you need to stick two things together, you can use glue, but it's also about getting sober, which is a big part of my life now. Covered in glue, how could I find myself all covered in glue? I think it just might be fun to be covered in glue. I cannot dress myself. None of my clothing not anymore. Covered in glue, how could I find myself? All covered in glue, I think it just might be fun to be covered in glue. I cannot feed myself. None of my cooking suits me anymore.
Covered in glue, how could I myself? I know I can't be
Covered in glue, I cannot feel myself. I'm morphine bleeding, and my heart withers sore, but not anymore. But not anymore. Woo! Glue, baby! All right. I'll do Sandals in the Snow. I'm wearing sandals right now. When I lived in New York City, I lived in New York City for a few years. I was a DJ because I used to be cool. Just Darren Keen. I was just DJing as Darren Keen in Lower East Side bars, doing tons of drugs, and just like totally derailed my life. Not just because drugs are bad, but like I was like making really good money DJing 6 nights a week, and I just like was like, oh, this is like, I'm a full-time musician. And no knock to DJs. DJs are cool, but like after like a year or two, I was like, wait a minute. People who knew me in New York then didn't even know that I wrote music because I was just like DJing all the time. So it really derailed me. But anyway, even in New York City, I wore sandals and cut off shorts all the time, and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, yeah, this is gross, dude. So this is about. I think a lot of people have like a fat friend who has a big beard and wears shorts year round, and this song's about being that. care what you think you know. I don't care. It's obvious you don't. I don't care. It's difficult to grow. I don't care. It's awesome getting old. All you ages, little shits, you don't realize you're all hypocrites who think you're blessed with sacred truth is the constant battle of misled youth and pretend the world is black and white. Ignore the shadows in the light. The universe is more of gray. Beauty is boring, but that's okay. I don't care. I don't care what you think you know. I don't care. It's obvious you don't. I don't care. Nebraska is my home. I still wear sandals in the snow. All you ages, little shits, you don't realize you're all hypocrites who can't accept another's truth. It's a constant battle of angry youth, and it's kind of cool that I survived the years I couldn't see the light. The miracle of human life is kind of dull, but that's alright. I don't care. Close enough? All right.
Fuck yeah.
I played the pretty ones.
That one was awesome.
Don't stop. Keep going. Oh, nice.
This podcast just
Can I
took
zoom?
an interesting turn for me.
Putting this on the OnlyFans.
Oh, the other problem shirt. Wow.
Damn.
All right. Hell yeah.
Shit just got real.
Yes.
Okay, we're good to go now.
We'll have to censor out your nipples.
No, I want that
Zoom.
raw. Zoom in. Are we still doing the song?
This will be like, yeah, we're still. It'll be like.
Thank you, everyone.
It'll be
Appreciate
like,
all the kind comments.
Minuskin. We'll just put star-shaped stickers over your nips.
I did
Beats
a
learning how
show-
to play the bass good.
I did a show in Minneapolis last weekend, and for my old band, the show was the Rainbow that I used to do for 15 years. It was like a kind of successful band. It was just me, and I always played shirtless on the floor and just sweating all over everyone. I would get half naked, sometimes fully naked. It's like super nudist, and I hadn't been naked. I haven't done that with Problems yet. And then in Minneapolis last weekend, I took my shirt off on stage because it was so hot. We were playing outside, and it was so hot, and I hadn't played shirtless in a long time. It was really fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is really fun to just go nude. Dude, they
Yeah.
should let bands play nude. Come
Yeah.
on.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, it should be part of, like, the contract of being a musician. You know?
I
like,
used to do it because I thought I was like, well, I'm a funny looking person. I have a strange body, and so I was like trying to do it in a thing of positivity. Like, if I'm beautiful, you're beautiful.
I love that.
But then, yeah, and I'm not like I'm not gonna retroactively go on an apology tour for it. But I understand why now we don't need to be white men on stage naked. But it was fun at the time. It was cool. Maybe it's just like not so
Understood
cool
that.
to like
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
But I still vote everyone naked. If
if
it was possible to live in a world where everyone was nude,
I mean,
that's my world.
that would be great. I'm not like, I mean, I suffer from pretty severe body dysmorphia. This is like part of the weight gain and weight loss. And so like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I was like naked all the time, it would help me with that. I'd just have to face myself all the time.
Yeah.
It'd be wonderful.
Well, dude, the Gap and like the Old Navy or whatever the advertisements were for clothing and stuff growing up were obnoxious. Like there was a image and I could see that. I could relate to that just because my mom suffered with anorexia.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's tough, dude.
Yeah, it's really strange. When I got up to 420 pounds, I like looked at myself and I thought, this is how I've always looked. It was really I mean, really, I felt like I looked like that my whole life. I still, having lost 100 pounds, I still like feel like that's what I look like. It's very fucking strange.
Dude.
Cut that. No, I don't care.
Are you
can be in there. I don't
hitting
care.
the DMT?
Yeah.
Say
You got the DMT going?
No,
What are you
this
cooking?
is just weed.
Okay.
You're smoking Deemsters in the corner?
Tommy's crazy,
I
dude.
have some. You want some?
No, thank you.
He's a crazy metal marine.
And there's like there's a possibility that like,
Do we do this song before we start?
Whenever. I always edit it and post
Oh, you
so
add it
you
in,
Could, like,
okay.
hear it good. If
Okay.
you want, I could play it and you could like pantomime
No, you're
to
fine.
it.
You're fine.
Or we could just fade in. Yeah.
And hello and welcome back to the show, everyone. Rock Radio USA. Here we are with problems.
Hello.
That stirred up a lot of problems.
yeah, man, we
In
just
too many good ways. Though.
Yeah, not too,
good
but then some very
ways.
strange conversations we had off mic there. That was pretty intense for a second
Yeah,
there.
dude, that got
I think
really
I
real.
have this thing where I trauma bond with people through my music, and so then I bring it out, and people like we end up just burning deep, huh?
I love that
Yeah, it's
because I
strange.
felt that on that last song, like the emotion and whatever behind. I felt the
Yeah.
energy behind the source.
It's been wonderful to go around the world singing ageist little shits into a microphone. It's
Yeah.
actually extremely fucking therapeutic. As a guy in my 40s who's been touring since my 20s, like, because I'm only talking about my old self, you know. Like I'm
Yeah.
definitely remembering like when I was in my 20s, there would be some cool musician in his 40s, and I would be like, well, we're not going to put him on the show. We'll just put my friend's shitty band on because college-age people come out and see them or whatever. And then now that I'm in my 40s, I'm like, why don't young, cool bands want to play with me? It's like, oh, yeah, like because this is what happens. Like, it doesn't really matter, you know? It's strange, yeah.
You ever see Jimmy Whispers?
Yeah, me and Jimmy are old friends, dude.
No kidding,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
He's
we
one
go in
when Auxiliary Lounge was running. That was one of my favorite shows of all time to see
I
Jimmy
think-
Whispers get up there and just torch.
I think that if you asked Jimmy about the genesis of Jimmy Whispers, he would bring up my old one-man band, The Show Is the Rainbow, as being an
Okay.
influence on the start of what he was doing.
Okay.
Truthfully, yeah. Like, I used to play
I
the
run
cowbell
into
all
him
the
enough
time.
on corners, oddly enough. So maybe I will. I'll have
Ask,
to bring that up.
yeah, tell him you know me. Yeah, I mean, we still talk and we bumped into each other out in the wild a few times, and I'd love to play with him again. But
Summer in Pain.
yeah, Summer in Pain.
I'm still in pain, baby.
And Light Pollution before that, and
Yeah.
I played with all his bands. I've my old show, The Show Is the Rainbow, used to have quite a large presence in DeKalb, and he was living there.
That's
So-
right. We did have to dive into that a
Yeah,
little bit. So,
so,
what
yeah.
is your connection to DeKalb? Because that was the first time I took speed. I
Yeah.
ended up in DeKalb.
Okay, yeah.
But how did you get?
I
get
did
in
tons of
there?
drugs in DeKalb. So my old one
there
maybe in the
anything
show is the
else to
Rainbow.
do
When
in
I was
DeKalb?
first getting going, I played with Troubled Hubble. They were a huge band from out in Batavia and DeKalb, and we did a split 7-inch, and they would bring me out, and then. So I play the House Cafe. John Ugolini used to book it, the guy who does Kickstand Productions. He started out at the House Cafe in DeKalb, and I'd go play out there 3 or 4 times a year. That's how I met your bandmate and
No
her sister and
kidding.
stuff. Yeah, I knew all them like when they were kids, and I was like this dude who came through on tour 3 or 4 times a year playing there. Every 3 or 4 months, I'd go out and play in DeKalb.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was such a blessing to have this city that was such a short drive to Chicago, where you could make a couple $100 there, and then come to Chicago. It was just like, wow, like that's a nice two days of tour right there. But yeah, Troubled Hubble was a band that was a big part of my life, and we toured together, played probably 50 or 60 shows together, and yeah, so I just ended up in DeKalb. That's when I met Jimmy Whispers and a bunch of people.
Wild, dude.
Yeah, really
Those
wild.
I forgot what place it was. We ended up for the show that was going on like the whole entire day while I was sped out of my mind. But it was like this building structure that had, in my eyes, like a numerous amount of rooms, and there were different bands playing. Like it was kind of like a mini fest.
I don't know. Otto's probably had a couple rooms, but I've only went to Otto's a couple times. But
Okay.
I
Was it
saw
like
High on
did it look
Fire.
like a barn? You saw High on Fire?
I saw High on Fire with what's the Battles guy's old band that he was in before Battles? The fuck.
Terrible with this.
Anyway,
Tommy,
yeah.
Metal Marine.
Anyway, the pre-Battles band that was awesome, and High on Fire. I saw them at Otto's in DeKalb.
We were prepping for the goth running club we were putting together for goth show.
Yeah.
And that during the time, shout out to James, Jim Magus, like shout out, dude. He was high on. He sent me the High on Fire
Oh,
shit,
yeah,
and
yeah.
dude, I was getting into running. It was like the perfect shit to
Yeah.
run to.
I'll have to keep that in mind because I'm about to start.
dude,
I'm
yeah.
I'm about to meet my personal trainer this week and start getting into fitness. The new Problems album. I'll go ahead and spoil this. It's going to be a concept album about getting fit and getting jacked in the era of buy now pay later schemes. It's going to be called I don't feel the results yet or something like that, or I don't see the results yet. I'm working on that.
You
still, but-
don't get to use Icy Hot, only
No.
glue.
But you know, like the idea, like when you're working out, you don't see the results yet. And, like when you buy now and pay later, you don't see the results of your bad decision yet. So, yeah, there's something
Karma's
there.
a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it, but that's what the new record's about. So I'm gonna get. In the meantime, I'm gonna like get jacked, and then I'm gonna go on tour playing the circuit about getting jacked.
I think that's pretty damn healthy. I love
It'll
it.
be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, it worked for Trent, my friend Trent Resner.
Tell me a little
You heard of
bit about your Buddha nature. When did you discover
Yeah,
that?
I mean, when I just was, just learning about all different stuff, trying to discover if I had a higher power, which I don't really. I just like studied the Dharma a bit. I read Why Buddhism is True. What's that guy's name? Not Brian Greene. Brian Greene wrote the quantum mechanics stuff. But anyway, I read this. Robert Wright wrote this book, Why Buddhism is True, and he's like he's a psychotherapist, and he wrote this book called The Human Animal that influenced the Wachowskis to make The Matrix. And he's like, well, why did my book as an atheist like resonate with Buddhists so much? And so he like spent 2 years studying Buddhism to kind of not necessarily debunk it, but just kind of like he thought he was going to talk shit about it. And then as a psychoanalyst who has a very scientific mind, he came away thinking essentially Buddhism is true. Like I've had this like feeling, this is like my rant corner, but I think the Buddha might have been an autistic savant who understood the quantum world, but didn't have the scientific vocabulary to discuss it. Because like all of the deep Buddhist stuff that I like is all about like perception creating reality, which is the same as like string theory and shit,
Totally.
probability waves and shit.
Love
So
it.
yeah, this is
Quantum.
kind of I just like have always felt a connection to that. And for me, like I'm somebody who has a lot of baggage and a lot of anxiety about the future. It's really easy for me to just run away thinking like the world's about to fucking fall apart, or just sit around feeling bad about shit that I've done or shit that's happened to me. So Buddhism just helps me just like sit in the moment and be present. And again, I don't identify as a Buddhist. I eat meat. I'm not a Buddhist, but just help me learning about it.
Huge, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, the quantum fields that are at present. I feel like you're totally right about Buddha being kind of tapped in on a level
Yeah.
of like knowing consciousness can be on many different forms,
Yeah.
and like just that tie into centering yourself with meditation, that's been a huge help for me too
Nice.
with recovery.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, my buddy Ben is like he wouldn't mind me outing him here. He's like into like TM, like really deep, and he has like a really serious black magic practice, and
Word.
that's like another whole path and avenue of all that. It's kind of fascinating. I got this King Paimon tattoo. He's one of the kings of hell. If you've seen the movie Hereditary, this is
Cool.
like the demon that they're worshiping in the movie. And my friend Ben is like, you can't get King Paimon tattooed on your arm. That's way too powerful of a symbol. It's like, oh, luckily I don't believe in any of that shit, so we're good.
What about ideas and like music? Where do you think that comes from?
Yeah, I'm not really a spiritual guy, but I love the mathematics of sound. I love frequency. I think it's such a fascinating thing. Like the first time you play with a sine wave and pitch it up and pitch it down and just kind of listen to, think about the way EQ and frequency interact with pitch and duration. I love minimalist music, and that has such a gridded. So when I write music in a computer. Left to right in like what am I trying to say? On a digital timeline, and it's a very visual thing for me with patterns and visual. I want the notes to look good. So for me, I think it's music doesn't come from a very spiritual place. It comes from a which sounds fucking crazy, but like it doesn't. It comes from a personal place. But it's all about, for me, about aesthetic and all about, pattern, I guess. That's what I like.
I love what you're
that.
crafting, dude. It's very wizardry, gothic, its own realm of its own.
It's strange because it seems like I should be like all hippie and spiritual, but I'm not at all. I mean, that's why I like Buddhism. It's not spiritual, and like, I don't know. I just feel that. I just feel that way with music. Like music is special and it is beautiful, and things that you can still have things that are special and beautiful that aren't like they don't. For me, it doesn't have to have this like quasi-religious bend to it, where it's like, oh, it comes from a magical place, or it's just like. It comes from a quite actual scientific place, and sound is science, and I love that about it. And like having a respect for that and a knowledge about that has led me to my production. Like, if you listen to Problems, it's like my shit sounds good because I've studied the science of sound. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm a savant. I'm not. I think about like Aphex Twin and Square Pusher. Like Aphex Twin is sort of a savant, and Square Pusher's like the nerd who learned everything. I'm definitely, even though I'm a fan of both, when it comes to my practice, I'm more of the nerd who learned everything, But that yields its own results and has its own practice, its own discipline. Yeah.
Super awesome. Well, now that you're on literally in the hot seat.
Yes.
We're going to hit you with the real one.
Okay.
Does tone exist?
Does tone exist? Yes, tone exists.
For sure.
Yeah.
How do you feel that? So?
How do you define tone?
How do I define tone? Tone is, I love this.
Is it in the Gibson?
No, tone, you don't need a Gibson for tone. You can make tone, you don't even need a guitar for tone. A piano has tone. An acoustic piano has a tone that I enjoy. I think tone is the sound that is created by deliberate. It's the intentional sound created, tone is the unintentional sound that resonates and is created by deliberate sounds. So like you like play a chord intentionally, tone is the sound that happens around that resonates out afterwards.
I love that. That's the best anyone's ever explained tone
I love
on
this question.
rock radio.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you play the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay. So on like a Telecaster's got one of them. I think a Strat's got two of them for the different. I know Gibson's got like the two volumes and the two tone knobs.
Mm-hmm.
That tone knob, like the potentiometer, like what does that do?
Well, it increases or decreases the bass, the amount of bass in the sound, right? I mean, that's just kind of it, right? I mean, is it just withholding electricity so a more muffled sound goes? No, because that'd be volume. And just like increases the amount of bass frequency, I think. It was a boring
A little
answer.
bit. The tone is feeling, though, right?
I mean, that's why I said tone doesn't come from a guitar.
Because the vibration might be the tone.
Yeah, but I feel like tone knobs are referring to a very specific avenue of tone, you know?
Yeah.
Like a tone knob.
TONE. What
Yeah.
does it stand for?
Well, I'm old. I remember cars had car stereos back in the day that just had like a one band thing, or just like bass or treble, like almost like a DJ filter knob, you know? And it was like, do you want to increase the bass or increase the treble or just leave it in the middle? And then I definitely remember cars and like little boomboxes I had that had a 2-band EQ, bass and treble, you know? So I think like at its core, like sonically, those are the two things. Like on a multi-band compressor, there's 3 bands on like most multi-band compressors: the lows, the mids, and the highs. But like what you're really only doing is defining the mid-range. Like what's the lowest note what's the lowest frequency that will be considered mid-range? What's the highest frequency that will be considered mid-range? Because then everything else above that will be treble, and everything below that will be bass. And so like I think like you're either obsessed with highs and lows or you're obsessed with mid-range. Like, have you ever heard the saying, no highs, no lows, it's got to be Bose?
No.
Okay, this is like a thing sound nerds I've known say. So like Bose speakers, remember when they came out and they were like the shit and everyone had one?
sure.
And like, my mom had one. My aunt had one.
Christmas of 2005.
Yes, for several years then. And then there's those Bose like L1 speakers that are like the thing. You see them like conferences and stuff where
They're
they're
the
like
best.
one tall tower that sits in a subwoofer. Well, I always heard this. I used to work in the pro audio department at Guitar Center. And
Shout out.
yeah, shout
GC.
out. No highs, no lows. It's got to be Bose because they're just obsessed with mid range, you know. And then like others, and then like in a car stereo, you just hear, you know, like you're walking down the street and someone comes up with the subs. And then in Chicago, don't you hear this when you're on public transit and you all of a sudden, like I made a joke with my friend Brian who I was just on tour with. I was like, taking public transit in Chicago, I have become extremely familiar with trap music hi-hats because you'll just be on the bus and then some dude is in the back and you just hear, you know what I mean? And you just hear the highs.
Yes.
That's all you hear, you know?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to ask, down the road here, have you any plans to cook anything new up, or have you been working on
For
any new
Problems?
sounds? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I made this whole new Problems album that I just scrapped, but I'm going to form it as a local band here in Chicago. I made this like really krautrocky album because I bought a Fender Bass 6, and it was fucking awesome. The album's, it's like, it was written for 2 drummers, a sax section, and the
krautrock?
Fender Bass 6. What's that?
Can you say krautrock?
Yeah, you can still say krautrock.
The K word?
Yeah, it's okay.
They're okay with
I actually did struggle with this for a while.
They're not even really people anymore.
I thought you were supposed to call it kamish, but kamish is a specific microgenre of krautrock, and I think you can. I definitely can still say krautrock. I'm white, but anyway,
I'm just now noticing that.
yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't see that, and so I was like going to make that the new Problems album, and then I realized that would be silly to. I love this. I loved what I'm doing here, and I shouldn't just balk at this. Like, this is kind of like the addict in me. Like, when things are going well, I have this tendency to just want to, like, blow my life up. And so I almost did that with the band. But then I was like, no, just keep doing this. Maybe explore that with Problems. So, yeah, I'm working on the new Problems album. I have this other thing kind of ready to go. But I actually really, I'm taking 2 writing sabbaticals in the next couple months here, one in New Orleans and one in Mexico City. And I'm going to write the new Problems album. Yeah. I wrote Enter the Annals, this one. That you have the shirt for.
Yes.
This record here. This came out on the Record Machine out of Kansas City. Cool label. I wrote this in Paris, most of it. A lot of it in a little. I got this
Beautiful
Airbnb in
cover.
Paris. Thank you. It was like a hotel room that Jason Bourne would have slept a gunshot off in. It was like you had to walk down this hallway of this like mall where they sold like. SIM cards to like Sudanese SIM cards and stuff. It was fucking crazy. And then I had this like little Airbnb and I wrote a bunch of the record there and yeah. So
That's awesome. Bro.
yeah, I like to get out of the States and get out of at least out of Chicago or Nebraska, wherever I'm living, and try to write somewhere else. It just kind of forces me into new headspace.
And
Yeah,
shout out to
artwork
Head
is
Mom,
sick.
the boss.
Yeah.
You got something
Molly
special
Compton.
here.
Molly Compton made me 50 of these. They are square lathe cut 7 inches. They're mono and they're a slight high pass. I put
the Queen.
Molly the ruler, the royalty. I put a new song on here, Last Two Teeth. It's a song I wrote about anti-intellectualism. And then I put the classic Love of a Dog, which was kind of like my first big song that everyone loved here. So
cool.
Put those on there because that Love of a Dog had never been on a record before. So
Woo.
yeah,
Your Mom
kinda
Records.
Cool. Your Mom Records. I met Molly at Pitchfork Fest. They had a booth there, and then they got voted best new label in Chicago that year. It was awesome.
That is rad.
And yeah, I was just talking to this. I can't really quite remember how me and Molly bonded. I feel like Molly tagged me in some Instagram posts when they were at one of my shows, and then I just sort
At
of
the Burlington?
No, it was an empty empty bottle. It was before I moved here too, but I think I just slid into Molly's DMs like a creep.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's okay, like, depending, like.
But we work together and do cool stuff together now. And
for sure.
I booked Molly on a really cool show that I have coming up at Burlington. This band that's like a side project of Boy Toy and La Luz is coming through. And so I booked Molly to open that show, and yeah.
Woo! Exciting. I love that. And anything you're excited for the rest of the summer season?
I'm really well. I gotta say, I'm extremely excited to go to Mexico. I know that's not quite the summer, but it's really on my mind. Like
That's awesome.
For a few years, I've been really fucking obsessed with how insane it is that we like treat Mexico so poorly as a country. Like they're our neighbor. We should like be helping them, and they should be helping us. We should have a great relationship with Mexico. Mexico is a beautiful land full of awesome people and has tons of kick-ass natural resources. And like, if we had a healthy relationship with them, like our country would be better. And so I've been like just like really meditating on that and like why that isn't a thing. I mean, I won't rant about politics, but it's just so fucking insane. And so I've never been to Mexico. Well, I've DJ'd some weddings in Mexico, but just at like resorts. I've never like gone to like a real Mexico. So I'm just excited to go there and check it out and do that. And yeah, I got a tour coming up here. I just got back from tour. I'm leaving again July 25th. I'm doing a tour through the South with Joey Z, who's like a performance art comedian. He does this thing called the Sheep Show, where he dresses like a
cool.
sheep. Yeah, he came and played Color Club. We knew each other in Nebraska a little bit. We weren't friends. We weren't.
Shout out to the Color Club. They're
Yeah,
poppin'.
Color Club's cool. And Joey did his like performance art show there that he has this like kind of psychedelic, sort of like if Animal Collective was like a stand-up comedian instead of a 3-piece band.
Yo.
Yeah, it's cool. It really
check this out.
It's amazing. Joey Z is really cool. And so then I was just like, I wanted to open for him there, and it didn't work out. He just played with comedians. He plays with a lot with comedians.
Yeah.
And then we were like kind of plotted this tour together. And so yeah, we're meeting in New Orleans and then touring through Texas together. He lives in Austin. Then back up to Nebraska, and the tour ends in Nebraska. And then the day after the last day of tour, we're going to see Weird Al together.
Ooh.
Yeah, since we're taking his car, I bought us Weird Al tickets to say thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm guilty of putting strawberry jam on every now and then.
Weird Al's
like every
great.
now and then.
Oh,
like
whoa,
AC,
Strawberry Jam,
but
yeah.
like Weird Al too. Like,
Oh my God! So Strawberry Jam, when I was touring New Zealand with Shows the Rainbow, was when that record came out, and that's one with My Girls, right?
No, My Girls is Weather.
Post Merriweather Pavilion.
Merriweather,
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, that had just come out. And oh yeah, Strawberry Jam is that's a really Beach Boysy one. With
the jam on the cover. Yo.
Yeah, that album's awesome. But so Post Merriweather Pavilion had just come out, and I was doing tons of LSD in New Zealand, like every day, like all day. And there were so many mornings I woke up like and would hear, whether I was staying at some punk house or playing a festival or wherever I was, they were tuning up, or someone was playing Animal Collective super loud. So every morning I'm waking up like half tripping still and hearing Animal Collective like that.
Is it in my head or is it
right?
in,
Exactly.
Is this part of the program or what? Yeah,
That's really funny. Is that the first time I ever did LSD? God, this is so stupid to talk about drugs. But the first time I ever did LSD, I was riding my bike home from this club in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I started hearing the organ grinder circus, dun, 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 and I'm like, this is so
dude,
cheesy. Drugs are so generic. I was like, I hate acid. This is so stupid. I'm just hearing this, and then I realized I was riding my bike by the fair. The state fair was in town, and I really was hearing that music, and it wasn't a hallucination. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good, because if LSD was that corny, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it. But it was a real thing. Yeah.
Right. Dude, Crazy stuff. What
Do
a journey
LSD
that
at the
must have-
fair, everybody.
Yeah.
You heard it here from a sober guy. Do LSD at the fair. Go to the fair, do drugs, fall off a Ferris wheel, and then sue this podcast. You heard it
Yes,
here. Yeah.
And listen to all the links below, not just one, multiple.
All
Check it
ours,
out.
yes.
Problems, gotta
They're
love
definitely
it.
there.
Last question.
Those links, they're not imaginary.
No.
Anyone,
Yeah, right.
Definitely.
anyone who's
definitely
out there,
below.
young artists and people
Mm-hmm.
alike that just want to get started, maybe they're like, oh, I got this creative idea.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try this. What would you, any suggestions you'd
Yeah.
throw their way? Any tips?
Sure. Just like follow your vision truly and completely and don't compromise anything ever for anyone because there's no formula to any of this. People can do anything and have success, and people can do anything and fail and not have success. And the only real success is like if you are proud of the work you do and if you think you're putting out cool shit. It doesn't matter like you could try to make the most cookie cutter pop music. Okay, I'm obsessed with this binary right now that like on one end there's musicians who make music to make money, and on the other end there's musicians who make music to be understood as people. And both are legitimate. You can do that, either one. I have always been someone who makes music to be understood, and I gravitate towards similar artists, and that's of any genre. And I think that like in the end, like if you do that and you do find yourself in situations where you're surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded and you enjoy their company and they enjoy yours, and you've bonded through this thing called art and music, then you have succeeded. That is success. Finding your people, finding a scene that you can just be a part of. That's the most beautiful, amazing thing in the world. And I make freaky music, and I make music that has no genre, and I still have been able to do that. I get to go
For
on
all the freaks.
Yeah, for all the freaks. I mean, I get to go on tour with rock bands, I go on tour with dance bands, I go on tour with Joey Z, performers art comedian, But it doesn't matter because we are just on that same quest of trying to be understood. My buddy Anand he's in the band Yesayer. I was asking you guys about Yesayer earlier. And like he kind of was teasing me because like I was saying like as my old band Shows the Rainbow got kind of famous and then dipped and got famous, blah blah. I was always like, well, everyone's ditching me now. Like I used to have these friends, and then now they're not my friends, and it's like they were never my friends. These were just people I worked with in the industry. But like I thought I was making friends the whole time. Like for me, it was just like, hey, we're all in this together. And like I've only in my like late 30s, the past 5 years, probably post COVID, is when I'm like trying to understand the healthy boundaries of the industry, because it's not like that. Like not everyone is trying to make friends, and not everyone's doing it for like these like kind of like more reasons like that of like trying to find themselves, and that's okay. Those people have their place, and that's fine. But like, just find yourself, and you will find yourself in a happy place, surrounded by people that you're happy to be with.
Dynamite. Yo. Problems. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And
Yeah.
that's some real raw knowledge.
You're like
dropped.
that, though. I know you
And-
are. I know this about you. You're like that. You make music and do this podcast and do all your shit because you are trying to be understood, and you want to create vessels for other people to be understood.
100%,
Yes.
brother. Like
Your collaborators.
I love the first like Young Camelot, Animal Kingdom, the Flower Shop, some of the early DIY places going like as a young, just trying to get into the scene like early 2010 and start playing shows. Like I remember seeing like the coming and going of so many different bands and so
Yeah.
many different projects. And so when an opportunity came to like start having friends out, shout out to Chris, who's a huge influence.
I love Chris.
Of just, like,
For sure, I played up
sounds.
in his basement.
So thank you so much, man, for real. Till next time, y'all. All the links below. Check it out. Tell your mom, tell your dad. Tell everybody. Rock Radio, USA. Love it.
Radio USA. Welcome to the
Carlo.